Very good evening, and from East Midlands Airport. So again, welcome back to Live Flight Action. The Rhino Air in front of us, landing in from Rome this evening. Apologies about the image, just a stretch of the arms there, catching that one as I was just sorting the umbrella out above us. Very sunny this evening, very warm as well for a change at East Midlands. By the Rhino landing in from Rome this evening, and the registration on that one, Echo India Delta Whiskey Yankee. Flight time on that one, 2 hours and 29 minutes. Aircraft age 17 years. So hopefully a bit busier evening tonight at East Midlands. A lot of aircraft making their way in, and just in the distance there, looks like the remnants of where the Antonov was yesterday evening. And good evening to everybody in the chat as well. Liam, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for that 1 month membership as well, that 1 month membership badge. You're more than welcome. Alan, good evening to you. Katie as well. Becky, Richard and Hazel, good evening to all of you as well. Right, let's have a look at moving a bit of this round then if I can. Self a bit more space. So we did plan to be in the tower this evening, but it's stiflingly hot in there at the minute. So I'll make my way out to the mountain instead this evening. Get a good view of all those arrivals. We're on 09 arrivals and departures this evening, so should get quite a good view of everything happening in front of us. If we pan over to the terminal, the louder A320 just making its way in before we started the stream. Right, let me just get a little bit more organised. I can get moving around a bit more freely. There we go. So the louder should be out again this evening at some point. Look on the radar in just a minute. That one has movements this evening. And just in the distance on the DHL ramp, if we can Get the camera sorted. There you go, just a little bit sunny this evening on the equipment. Sunlight having a bit of an effect on where we're pointing the cameras this evening. But if we take you onto that second view camera and the Aerologic 777 making its way in from Delhi just a short while ago, about 5 PM this evening. That one currently in the process of being unloaded. So next aircraft in then, the Ryanair service in from Malaga. It's operated by 737 MAX, registration on that one, Echo India, India Golf Echo. That one currently making its way towards Milton Keynes. That one should be with us in about 15 to 20 minutes. And then a number of the Ryanair Bombardiers flying around in the area this evening. Just a short while ago we had one of the Bombardiers land in and depart straight away. It's like that one may have just been a bit of a quick crew transfer. But there is another one inbound making its way up from Newquay this evening, Bombardier Challenger 3500. This one delivered to Ryanair just last month. A registration on that one, Mike Alpha Beta Tango Echo. Looks like that one has been very busy indeed over the past couple of weeks. But that one making its way towards us should be with us in around 40 minutes. We were expecting one of these a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately looks like that flight got replanned. But we'll finally get to see one on this evening's stream just a short while from now. That one currently just south of Exmouth. Exmouth and Exeter. Excuse me. And then over the north of Wales, a JFK service in around 25 minutes time. That's operated by that DHL 767. Not seen this one for a couple of weeks now. It wasn't around on Tuesday's stream. But that one around 20 minutes away from us. But first aircraft in will be the Ryanair service in from Malaga. Let's have a look at the rest of the arrivals this evening then. So it's a very warm evening. Sun directly pointing at us. Let's take all the warmth we can get for the minute, because I reckon it's going to drop off quite cold in the next couple of hours. Let's have a look then. So the Lauda service in front of us, that one should have arrived at 10:25, arriving in at 5:10 this evening. That one is scheduled to go out at 7:45. However, with that 20-minute delay, that's likely we'll see that just a little later on this evening after 6 PM. Looks like they're already in the process of looks like boarding that one. So hopefully a quick turnaround on that. Whereas we're on airline operations this evening, we'll get to see that one right in front of us. The last time we managed to catch the Lauda was a couple of weeks ago on a daytime stream. So it'll be good to see this one out as well. Let's have a look then at the rest of the arrivals and departures this evening. So in terms of arrivals, let's have a quick look. So the Specsavers Aviation Beach King Air making its way in from Guernsey. That should be with us at about 6:05. Jet2 service in from Tenerife at about 5 to 7 this evening. The RVL service in from the Isle of Man at about 7 p.m. DHL service in from Cincinnati. Let's have a look. No, it's telling me wrong information, that. There we go. Whereabouts are we this evening? So there we go, the Lauda back on track now. Lauda was due in at 10:25, that one at 5 past. That one should be going out hopefully in the next 30 minutes or so. They are boarding that aircraft at the minute. Looks like they're making their way up the rear stairs of that aircraft. Let's have a quick scroll through the rest of this evening's arrivals and if it loads properly this time. That Challenger making its way up from Newquay, due to be with us at about 6:15. Of course, the 777 in front of us there, that Aerologic 777 making its way in from Delhi. And just next to the Lauda, that Ryanair service in from Rome that we managed to catch at the very start of the stream as we were just starting up. The DHL service in from JFK. That one delayed again this evening, but not too long. That one should be with us at about 6:05. Ryanair service in from Malaga just before 6 p.m. and then the Jet Sea service in from Fuerteventura, that with an estimated time of 10 to 7 this evening. Jet Sea service in from Tenerife at 7:15 and then the RVL service in from the Isle of Man just after 7 p.m. That service in from Cincinnati, operated by the DHL 777. That's estimated at around 20 past 7 this evening, but a little ahead of schedule. The Chewy service in from Gran Canaria, that one due to arrive with us at about 5 to 7 this evening. And then a number of cargo aircraft making their way in after that. We have the 777 making its way in from Leipzig. Chewy service in from Lanzarote at about 7:15. The UPS service in from Philadelphia, that one early this evening. Little strange for that one to make good time, but that one is due to us just before 8 p.m. And then the usual Maersk service in from Belfast and the 757 service in from Reykjavik, and then the West Atlantic service in from Aberdeen, all of those due to us between 20 to 9 and 8:45 this evening. 747 we were hoping to catch this evening. That one did have an estimated departure time 10 past 9. That one pushed back even further this evening, 10 to 11. That one is now scheduled to depart, so a little beyond the time that will be streaming, unfortunately, but still we'll be able to manage catch a good number of aircraft in this evening. That Challenger making its way up from Newquay then is due to arrive into East Midlands and then shortly depart as well. It's got an estimated departure of 25 to 7 this evening. That will make its way back down to Stansted. And then Ryanair service to Berlin at 6 p.m. Ryanair service to Malaga at 10 to 7. And then hopefully the Cincinnati service operated by a 767. That one is due out at about 20 to 9, 10 to 9 this evening. But we'll keep an eye on that one. Didn't manage to catch it on Tuesday's stream. It was almost on schedule. But unfortunately, we just ran out of time to catch that one. So fingers crossed we managed to see it out this evening. Getting very close to us now. That first service in from Malaga then, operated by the 737 MAX. That's the Ryanair service. Just about 10 minutes away from us. This one delivered in January 2023. So just over a couple of years old. It's a great visibility outside this evening. The sun, without making my glasses extremely hot, balancing on top of my head. It's almost melted. So thank you very much for joining us from within the Aeropark. The Aeropark has been open today as part of their summer schedule, open Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays now, from 11 AM until 5 PM. Last admission's been 4 PM. So if you want to find out any more information about the Aeropark, where to find it and the aircraft available to come and have a look around, there is a link to their website in the stream bio below. Just move that camera background if we can. There we go. Right, well, we're to that first Ryanair service then. Aircraft making its way up towards us. I'm going to grab a quick drink just very briefly. It's definitely the warmest we've felt it out here this evening. The sun is extremely strong ahead of us. Still quite a lot of cloud as well. Hopefully that doesn't bring any rain with it. It's quite dark above us. There we go, let that one cool down. Let's have a look then around the rest of the apron over there this evening. Of course, that louder service straight in front of us, the Ryanair service on stand next to it there. If you look a little further down the airfield, Jet 737 on stand. It looks like that's the only one in that direction for the time being. So look a little to the right then. Yeah, Jet 737 on that forward stand there. Back stand's quite empty for the time being. And just a chewy 737 on one of the ancillary stands to the left of the terminal there. And then not as fortunate with the sights over on the DHR up this evening. Antonov departed yesterday evening. I think that one was about 7 PM. So very empty on that stand at the minute. But they'd bring that aircraft round onto the main ramp, the 767 there of course, and then another one on stand. And just where they have the crane in the distance, so that's where the Antonov was yesterday afternoon into the evening. That one was quite a sight from what we've seen. So the loading process of the Antonov's sophisticated somewhat. The whole front of the aircraft lowers and then unravels a ramp for the cargo to be almost driven on board or handled on board somehow. It looks like the last of the apparatus over there being packed up. So that one's been gone for almost a day now. Like something very large being loaded on yesterday evening, making its way over to Q8. It's all wrapped up in white plastic, so whatever was underneath was obscured from view. But a very sophisticated operation to get something of that size on board. So look at where we are in terms of receiving that Ryanair service then. That one should be turning, making a right hand turn onto final. It's just a little east of Burton-on-Trent. That one should be with us in just a couple of minutes, currently passing through 2,200 feet. So just about see it in the distance. If the umbrella allows, let's see if we can turn that frame rate down as well if we can. Just about see in the distance there. See, the camera's doing a bit of a better job than my eyes at picking that up. But there we go, that is the Ryanair service making its way into East Midlands this afternoon. That one arriving in from Malaga. I'll mess around with the camera settings a little bit more in a minute. So the sun is extremely bright overhead this evening, so we shall do our best. Very little wind at the minute, just a tiny breeze. It's nice to get a bit of cool air. It looks like that louder service is now starting up as well. That one just pushing in the distance. Oops, wrong one, there we go. Catch up with the louder in a minute then. For the time being, let's focus on the inbound Ryanair service. All of a sudden going very dark above us. So all that grey cloud blocking out the sun. So a close up of the louder than in the distance. The louder making its way back down to Palma this evening. Registration non-hotel, Lima Oscar, Quebec. Airframe is 18 years of age. This one is an A320-200. Let's have a look at its previous history today. This one will be its 6th flight of the day, starting in Palma this morning, off to Valencia, and Valencia back to Palma from Palma it went out to Bournemouth, and then from Bournemouth back to Palma, Palma to East Midlands, and now it's making that return journey back to Palma this evening. After that though, it's still got another 2 flights to make, heading over to Alicante, and I'm making a return journey from Alicante back to Palma as well. There'll be 8 flights in total for this aircraft today. It's quite a long day. And it's like just in the distance, the Chewy 737 being moved possibly onto another stand there. Helicopter coming in very fast to East Midlands now then. Let's try and pick this one up. This one literally just appeared from the trees behind us, making a very sharp turn onto Runway 09 this evening. Disappearing off there behind the hangars. Richard, thank you very much for the information on 767. I'll keep an eye out for that one. Jill, good evening to you as well. Thank you very much for joining us again from East Midlands. Good to have you with us. Still in the process of working on the 777 there. The Lauda just disappearing out of sight. See if we can pan around, get back on that one now. Not very often we've managed to catch the Lauda into, in at East Midlands, should I say. Catching this one on the outbound now. We were fortunate enough to catch it a couple of weeks ago. I think that was one of its first visits of the year. Probably made a couple more before that. But definitely the first time that we managed to catch it anyway. That service in from JFK, then routing just around the outskirts of Derby, making a left-hand turn now towards East Midlands. That one should be joining us on final just a couple of minutes. That one is overhead Burton on Trent at the minute. So with the couple of Ryanair challenges, Bombardier challenges, making their way to East Midlands this evening, probably suspect that there are a couple of crew changes happening. Say with the Lauda in front of us, being on its 6th flight of the day. Maybe a possible crew switch at some point. With that next challenger making its way towards us now, should be with us in about 10 or 15 minutes time. That one just south of Northampton. So like an early getaway for the Lauda. There we go then, just about squeezing an image of that one through the foliage there. Fortunately not making its way as far down as we originally planned. But the next one, definitely inbound. We will catch this in full view. That's 767 then, arriving in from JFK this evening. And the Lauda there making its way off to Palma this evening. The 767 registration on this one, Golf Delta Hotel Lima Sierra. Flight time this evening, 6 hours and 6 minutes. So this aircraft, 12 years of age. Yvonne, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you with us. There you go then, we'll catch back up with that 767 in just a few minutes. Let's catch up on the progress of that Chewy if we can. It's like that one just being moved onto stand. There we go. Jill, thank you very much. See you next time. The Rhino Challenger just south of Leicester now, then passing through 10,700 feet. Temperature has definitely dropped now because of the cloud. .767 on the taxiway now then. Ryanair pushing on stern just in the bottom left. That one off to Berlin this evening. Registration Echo India Delta Whiskey Yankee. This one, I believe, making its way in from Rome just at the start of the stream. Try and adjust that camera if we can. Catch that one as it starts up this evening. There we go, bringing that one back now. And that sheet making its way onto the forward stand of the terminal there. Not too sure if that one is outbound this evening, let's have a quick look. Doesn't look like anything currently filed for that one. Next service out is that Ryanair just in the distance there. And just starting up now, having been pushed back off stand. Next service after that is the Ryanair departing out to Malaga. That one at 10 to 7. And the last aircraft to depart this evening looks like it will be the DHL 767 off to Cincinnati. Of course, we've got the Challenger making its way in towards us. That one is due out at about 25 to 7 this evening. We'll see if that one keeps on schedule. But the 767 making its way towards us now. The Ryanair in the distance on the move then. We should hopefully make its way a little bit further towards us this evening than the Lauda that departed just a few minutes ago. Watch the 767 onto stand, and we'll pick up with the Ryanair as it makes its way towards us this evening. That one should be making its way past us just to the left, bottom left of the screen there. That's 767 safely on stand. Let's have a look round at the Ryanair then as it makes its way past us this evening. This one giving its age with those retrofitted winglets. See if this one holds short, or if it's going to make its way straight onto 09. The challenge is just a short way off yet. That one south east of Burton-on-Trent at the minute, making its way south, or towards the south of Burton-on-Trent. Doesn't appear to be anything else on final just at the minute. Let's take a closer view if we can then. There we go, this one cleared and to enter runway 09 then. I'll drop quiet for a minute just so you can catch this one depart right in front of us this evening. Hopefully pick up a bit of that engine noise from where we are. Yeah, that one rumbling away in front of us there, making its way off to Berlin this evening. So a quick look at the 767 on stand then, this one arriving in just a short while ago. And as soon as that Challenger gets a little bit closer to us this evening, we'll get that one on the approach as well. Mark, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us. And see, we'll catch this Bombardier in, and then we'll have a look on radar for you. So I think Laura's just had a quick look, but nothing close by. But we'll have a look, see if there are any flying around the world if we can for you. Just a few minutes. We'll catch the Bombardier in first, though. First time we've seen this one into East Midlands, or us particularly, anyway. So look, there we go. So it's still extremely bright in front of us this evening. Just have to mess around with the camera just a little bit. This one arriving in from Newquay this evening. Newquay down in Cornwall. This one, a very new aircraft for Ryanair, delivered just last month. With any luck, we will see that one in just a few short minutes. So look back on the 767 though, inbound from JFK this evening. Get properly balanced. See, well, that's used to streaming in such warm weather of an evening, so the tripod just having a bit of a moment there when it gets itself adjusted to newer temperatures. Andy, good evening to you. Yeah, just messing around with the camera settings a bit, so the sun's directly at us. We'll see if we can adjust it a bit more for you. Some of that brightness back if we can. There we go. Just with the sun glaring directly at us, difficult to see just what's on the camera in front of us at some point. Hopefully that makes it a little bit better for you for the time being. It tends to shine quite intensely off the skin of the aircraft as well. It gives us a lot of glare back, so it's knocking the shutter speed down ever so slightly just to try and eradicate some of that glare. Once the sun starts to set, it should even itself back out with any luck. So look for some of those 737-200s then. Looks like Laura's found a couple already. Just a couple, as Laura's saying there, flying around. Looks like there are a few more up into Canada. Making their way to Montreal, the Inuit 737-200. It looks like one has departed Quebec just a little while ago as well. And then further into Canada, the Buffalo Air 737-200 out from Yellowknife this evening. And then an all-in-all 737-200, a couple of those actually flying around at the minute. So it looks like 5 in total over Canada. None making their way towards us, unfortunately. Well, there you go. Hopefully that answers your question there, CB, on those 737s. That Ryanair Challenger then making its way onto main apron this evening, making its way as far forward as its counterpart did just a short while before the stream. There we go. See, it's extremely difficult at the minute just to get the right composition. So with the light bouncing at the back of the camera now, a bit of a different perspective on the image. Hopefully that's bright enough to pick up. We'll see what the intention is with this one this evening. It should be going out, or scheduled to go, in about 10 minutes. The last time we looked it was anyway, so let's see if that's changed. Yeah, looks like that's staying a little bit longer this evening, due out at 7 PM now. So it looks like it's got a 25-minute delay on it this evening. Have a look though, it's the first time we've seen the any of the Ryanair aircraft in this calibre anyway on the stream. Sure, they've been flying around elsewhere up and down the country. Well, definitely the first time we've managed to catch one here at East Midlands. Fortunate enough to see 2 of them today, one arriving and departing just as we were setting up the stream. Thankfully managing to catch this one arriving with us live this evening. So while we're having a quick look at that one in the distance, let's have a look at some of the next arriving aircraft then. The Rhino service departing out to Berlin, taking a route right though up to Sheffield this evening. Bit of an extended departure for that one there, going north, but I think that is generally the route Ryanair take from East Midlands. The Riga service does a very similar route. It comes in over Hull and then makes its way all the way down mostly the M1 towards East Midlands instead of coming up from the south. And so that one is following a very similar route this evening. So look then, a bit further south, Jet2 service in from Futurventura in that all white livery. Registration Oscar Mike Lima Echo X-ray. That one is about 25 minutes away from us. making its way towards Guildford at the minute, just south of London, or southwest of London. Behind that, the Chewy service in from Gran Canaria. That one about 35 minutes away from us, and about 20 minutes behind that one, just still over France, the Chewy service in from Lanzarote. That one should be with us in about 50 minutes. So look at some of the services over to the west then. Jet Sea service in from Tenerife, that one routing just over the coast of Ireland, currently overhead Anglesey, making its way over North Wales. That one is about 20 minutes out, and the RVL service in from the Isle of Man. That one about 30 minutes away from us. And just a little further afield than the 777 making its way in from Cincinnati this evening, just 50 minutes away from us, and the UPS 767 in from Philadelphia on time this evening. That one still with about an hour and 23 minutes left to run. And then even further north, all the way up to Iceland, the DHL 757 service in from Reykjavik. That one's still with 2 hours and 15 minutes to run. Hopefully that should make good tracks this evening, making its way down towards East Midlands, and hopefully should meet up with those services originating in Belfast. That's the Maersk 767 in from Belfast, and the West Atlantic 737 making its way down from Aberdeen this evening. You can see the cloud giving way there. Let's see if we can knock that light down just a little bit. There we go. I want to make it too dark. I want to knock some of that light off so we don't just have a big glaring white surface staring at us. So hopefully that's still quite visible to everybody. So once that sun sets a little more just behind the trees, it should make it a lot better for us. CB, I'm not too sure about the 135. So it is a route, or corridor actually, if it's classed as that, between a lot of the RAF bases, Coningsby, probably being the main one from here. A lot of the aircraft making their way over towards Wales for a lot of training flights, so we regularly see a lot of the Typhoons flying overhead. But I'm not too sure about the 135s. There may be somewhere, but I think they usually position themselves over the North Sea. More commonly probably based out of Waddington in that direction. So no, to my knowledge, we've definitely not seen one. I've seen a number of RAF aircraft in though, the Voyager making a number of trips already this year. A lot of military aircraft at the start of Cobra Warrior as well, Operation Cobra Warrior, with the Saudi Air Force bringing their A330 into East Midlands. So just a little while longer before we see some of those aircraft inbound to us this evening, but out enjoying quite a pleasant evening. Try and get a bit closer on that one there. And that second apron camera. And let's reposition ourselves and have a look on the progress. And that's 767 this evening. Still very much in the process of being unloaded. So look, see where this one is outbound to, or if this one is a night stopper. That Jet 2 service in from Tenerife, just making its way toward Wrexham now. About 20 minutes out for that one. A very similar time for that Jet 2 service making its way in from Fuerteventura as well. Both should be with us in about 20 minutes. We'll see if we can pick those aircraft up as they make their way towards us. So the visibility in front of us this evening is quite good. Bit of cloud. Fingers crossed. We should be able to pick them up. We'll keep our eyes out for them anyway. So the aircraft in front of us then, Golf Delta Hotel Lima Sierra. This one is back out this evening off to Leipzig. This one departing at about 9:20 this evening. Looks like most of those delayed services quickly making up time this evening. So there was a little delay on some of the inbounds, a little earlier on this afternoon. But it looks like everything else is making good time. So the Fuerteventura service should be with us just before 5 to 7 this evening. That's followed by the Jet 2 service in from Tenerife and the service in from the Isle of Man, the RVL Cessna Caravan. The 777 in from Cincinnati at about 7:20. The Chewy service in from Gran Canaria about 15 minutes before, that one making its way in about 7:05 this evening. And then a little later on, 777 in from Leipzig. That one looks like it has started and making its way towards East Midlands now. That one should be arriving just after the Chewy service in from Lanzarote. That one due 10 minutes early at about 7:20. So that 777 in from Leipzig departing about 20 minutes ago. Still with about an hour to run. That one currently over Germany at the minute. Making its way towards the Netherlands. Should be routing quite close to Amsterdam. And then straight over. Looks like that one is going to head straight overhead Norwich and then make its way in towards East Midlands from there. So about an hour before we see that one, but those two services quickly making their way towards us now. The Jet 2 service in from Tenerife and the Jet 2 service in from Fuerteventura. We've managed to see the Fuerteventura service, or the aircraft, on the ground over the past couple of weeks. I don't think we've managed to catch this one actually in flight. So for the first time catching that one inbound to East Midlands this evening. Giant Contacts, good evening, thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, I think that is one of the, if not the latest addition in the Ryanair fleet, just there. That one making its way up from Newquay just a short while ago. CB, I think they did at one point fly the 757 in, just for a couple of services. It wasn't a regular aircraft at East Midlands. I think it's rather a replacement of an aircraft put on to accommodate a bit of a larger service. But it was some time ago, probably a couple of years ago, before they eventually got scrapped. The last time I had one of those in at East Midlands. We still get the 757s in though, in terms of cargo aircraft, DHL being the biggest operator at East Midlands of the 757s. That one is making its way down from Reykjavik at the minute. It should be with us in just a couple of hours. Sam, hello to you. So we should be seeing the Challenger out in a very short while. That one due to out at about 7 PM this evening, landing in just a short while ago. Delayed about 25 minutes on its inbound from Newquay this evening, so missing its earlier slot. Should have been departing right about now. But about 15 minutes and we should hopefully see a bit more action on that one. The Ryanair service to Malaga starting up in the distance then. This one operated by the 737 MAX, registration Echo India Golf Echo. This one 2 years of age, making its way in from Dublin this afternoon. Oh, sorry, not Dublin, Malaga, sorry. Previous flight was from Dublin to Malaga. A very busy evening over at Donaldson Park this evening, so not a lot of noise in that direction, but still a bit of air traffic originating from that direction. Usually hear a bit of noise in terms of general aviation noise from that distance. A few helicopters often taking off during the streams, but it's often been a bit too cloudy or a bit too sunny to pick them up. Pan around then if we can and watch that Ryanair service out to Malaga this evening, just pushing off stand. There we go, just next to the Challenger on stand there. Hopefully that Challenger will be making a move in the next 15 to 20 minutes as well. That one with a scheduled departure time this evening of 7 PM, making its way back down to Stansted, it looks like. Sam, very good, thank you. Hope you are as well. Phil, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us from East Midlands. Good to have you with us. Jet 2 service in from Tenerife, then just west of Utoxeter now, about 8 minutes out from us. That one should be making pretty forward. Straight in approach from where it currently is this evening. The Jet 2 service in from Fuerteventura just south of Leicester. That one will make a left turn. Making its way across the south of the airfield. And I'll make a right turn over Burton on Trent back onto the approach path for runway 09 this evening. So very likely we'll possibly see that Jet 2 service in first. The Ryanair service to Malaga there. Engine just started. Looks like it's just going to move off. Just about to see the ground crew moving away from it there. That tug being taken out of place. It should be making its way towards us off that apron on its own power. Just a short minute or so. Jet 2 service making its way towards is then in from Tenerife. Registration on this one, Golf Delta Romeo Tango Tango. That one just 5 minutes away from us now. Flight time this evening, just shy of 4 hours and 10 minutes. Airframe age is 17 years. And the RVL service taking a little bit of an extended approach into East Midlands. That one deviating ever so slightly overhead Ashbourne now. That one should start to route down towards Derby, making an initial right hand turn before making a left hand turn onto final for runway 09 this evening. That one probably a good 15 minutes or so away from us yet. Likely be giving way to the inbound Jet 2 service from Fuerteventura. And of course the Ryanair in front of us there, outbound to Malaga this evening. Depending how quickly it gets to the start of runway 09. So I'm picking up a bit of speed on the taxiway there. So it may make its way out just before one of the inbound Jet2 services. So that Fuerteventura service just away off the airfield this evening. That one just holding short there, giving way to the arriving Jet2 service in from Tenerife. That one on final approach now. It's a little bit difficult to pick up in the distance. So look and see if we can pick that one up at all. And go. Turn that frame rate down just a little bit. Flight time on this one then, 4 hours and 9 minutes at the point of touching down this evening. The Chewy service in from Gran Canaria, quickly making its way towards Milton Keynes. That one just currently west of Luton. That one should be with us in about 20 minutes. And those DHL services, the 777s in from Cincinnati and Leipzig. Leipzig service about 45 minutes out, and the Cincinnati about 30 minutes away from us now. The Ryanair making its way on 209. And the Jet2 service in from Fuerteventura just turning on to final as well now. The Ryanair to Malaga, just ahead of it though. There we go then, the Ryanair service off to Malaga this evening. And our final approach now, out there somewhere. Let's change that frame rate. Jet 2 service then in from Future, our final approach into East Midlands this evening. The Jet 2 service in from Future safely down into East Midlands this evening then. Yeah, Apron quickly filling up to the left of us. So just a quick apology about having to change the camera shutter speed. See the light causing us a few issues being directly pointing at us this evening. So hopefully it's not detracting too much, but thank you for persevering with it, should I say, with us for the time being. Once that sun does get a little bit lower, should let us stabilise it a little bit more. The RVL Cessna in from the Isle of Man next though. That one's out there somewhere. At the minute, it'll be a very tiny speck to pick on. That Challenger should be hopefully making its way out in about 5 or 6 minutes time. Estimated departure time on that one is 7 PM this evening. Just a very quick turnaround for that one, making its way in from Newquay this evening. Just about got visual with that Cessna now, so let's see if we can pick this one up in the distance, making its way in towards East Midlands this evening. The RVL Cessna in from the Isle of Man. Flight time on this one, about 50 minutes by the time it touches down. Registration Golf Romeo Victor Lima Yankee. This one 37 years of age, quite a regular visitor on our streams here at East Midlands. There you go, soft touched out from that one there. pan around back on the apron if we can then. That Jet 2E from Future and Short just making an appearance in the distance. That one vacating off the taxiway. So that one is hopefully going to make use of the forward stand there. So should get quite a decent view of that one disembarking this evening. The RVL Cessna just passing by on the taxiway there. RVL making its way onto stand. Let's have a look at what's in this evening. Making an appearance just to the right of us. If we take our eyes off the Jet 2. Like another Beach King inbound this evening. It's probably the fourth or fifth we've seen whilst we've been here. Quite a popular aircraft type. Back on the Jet 2 for the time being though. There's forward and rear stair just being moved into place there. Looks like the Ryanair Challenger starting up now as well. CB, that's great, very well done on passing that private pilot's licence, getting that private pilot's licence, sorry. I think you'll probably get a better name from everybody in the chat rather than me. but congratulations on buying that as well. Right, let's see if we've got a little bit of power somewhere then. A couple of bits plugged in. Looks like they're just about ready to disembark that jet to service there. So look at those next inbounds then. Shouldn't be too far away from us. The Chewy service in from Gran Canaria, passing through 4,000 feet now. That one just over at Ashby de la Zouch. A little further behind, the Chewy service in from Lanzarote. About 20 minutes away from us. That's already started its descent towards East Midlands, passing through 23,000 feet now. The inbound Chewy service from Gran Canaria, sorry. That one about 3 or 4 minutes before we get visual with that one. So just can't pick that one up in the distance by eye just yet. But as soon as that turns on to final, we should get quite a good view of that one making its way down into East Midlands this evening. The DHL service in from Cincinnati then, about 20 minutes away from us. That one currently over North Wales, making its way towards Chester at the minute. Looks like that one is going to pass right over Horden. The Airbus facility there. And then let's have a look at the east. The DHL 777 making its way in from Leipzig. That one should be with us in about 30 minutes. Then even further west than that UPS 767 service in from Philadelphia, arriving with us in about 50 minutes. That one is just about to reach the coast of Ireland there, the very western coast of Ireland, and the 757 making its way down from Reykjavik should be with us in about an hour and 40 minutes. That Ryanair Bombardier then finally making its way out this evening, so we'll pick up on that one, just disappearing behind the buses on the apron there. There we go, that one making its way out onto the taxiway now. Now, definitely not going to be able to manage 2 cameras at once, so I should switch over to the main camera in just a minute as that Challenger gets a little bit closer to us. Should hopefully be passing right in front of the Jet 2 in just a few seconds. There you go then, we'll keep a focus on the Challenger for the time being. We'll get back on the Jet 2 in just a few minutes once this one's departed out this evening. quite a simple livery on these aircraft, not very ornate, but it does the job. The Chewy on final approach then, the Ryanair just holding there. Next inbound then, on final approach, that Chewy service in from Gran Canaria. We'll get a close-up of the Challenger there, just a couple of minutes. There we go, the Chewy making its way towards us now. This one with a flight time of 4 hours. Registration Golf Tango Uniform Mike. Aircraft is 3 years of age this month. We got the Chewy safely down there. Let's get back on the Ryanair before it makes a hasty exit off the taxiway there. Just about seeing the flight deck there. Doesn't look like a lot of movement on board though. Maybe just empty your leg back down to Stansted this evening. So nothing else currently on final approach. So I'm just waiting for clearance then to enter onto runway 09 this evening. Hopefully it should be quite a rapid exit. So it's the first time we've managed to catch this one into East Midlands. So if you want to see it arriving in, have a quick skip back through the stream. Probably about 40-45 minutes back through the stream. You see this one arriving in with us this evening. very early there. A lot of power behind that one. Just wait a minute, see if you can see that behind the trees. Somewhere there. There we go. There we go, just losing visual with that one there. Very quick departure out with East Midlands this evening, but very good catch first time. As I said, we've managed to see that one inbound and outbound. Very new aircraft for Ryanair. That one may just be a month or so old. It was delivered in March of this year, so just last month. And that one currently passing through 4,000 feet. Just quite, well not quite, just a short hop down to Stansted this evening for that one. But next aircraft inbound there, the cheer service in from Lanzarote. And the DHL 777 in from Cincinnati. 777 just north of Burton-on-Trent at the minute. That one about 5 minutes out, passing through 4,200 feet. And the Chewy 737 currently at 6,500 feet. That one northwest of Leicester at the minute. So if we can, we'll try and get visual with that one. The cloud very much dispersed in the distance now, so hopefully we should be able to see that one approaching us. We'll try our best to catch it anyway if we can. With the Jet 2 service there, looks like that one is almost finished now. Looks like everybody's disembarked. At least there's a bit of warmth for everybody to come back into. Makes a difference watching everybody get off when it's been freezing cold. So let's have a quick look in the distance and if we can see that 777 yet. Just about breaking over the top of the cloud there. We'll leave the crew of that Jet 2 then as they make their way off this evening. See if we can indeed see that 777 as it makes its way down. Now I might have to adjust the shutter speed ever so slightly in the aperture to counteract the sun. Well, there we go. Looks like that one is still to lower its landing gear. So hopefully, if we keep in that position, should, with a bit of luck, be able to watch that landing gear come down as well. There we go, right on cue. So this one just a couple of minutes away from us now then. Passing through 2,300 feet in its current position. Registration on this one, Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Mike. This one 5 years of age, flight time this evening 6 hours and 55 minutes by the time it touches down into East Midlands. And the Chewy just south of Ashby de la Zouch. That one currently at 4,000 feet. I'm having a quick look to see if we can see that one. I think that's a Ryanair out there. Ah yes, the Chewy just at 45 degrees from our current position. We'll stick on the 777 now and watch this one in. And then with a bit of luck we'll be able to see the Chewy bank around onto the approach for 09 this evening. So the sun does drop a little lower in the sky. Should make the approaching aircraft really stand out this evening. So hopefully in just a little while we're able to watch some of those aircraft inbound as the sun is setting just behind the trees in front of us there. 777 inbound to East Midlands next though. You may just catch a glimpse of that chewy banking towards us. There we go, the chewy just to the base of the cloud there. Let's get that frame rate turned back up. We can watch this one in clearly. Very quiet touchdown from the 777 there. The Chewy then, let's pan back around. That one just making its way towards us. Just flick that frame rate down a little bit. There we go. That one again, still to lower its landing gear. Good evening to everybody joining us in the chat. Dino, thanks very much for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one. Pat, good evening to you. Copper Panda as well, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Bassman Bowman, good evening to you. Yeah, unfortunately, Ansel didn't show on the radars. It departed not late, I think about 7 PM yesterday afternoon. But we did manage to get quite a good close-up of it on Tuesday's stream while it was on the stand. So if you want to have a look at that, definitely have a look at Tuesday's stream. We managed to get quite a good side-on view of that one. Rob, good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us again. A little bit warmer here this evening. Not as warm as where you are though. Still not freezing cold just yet. The Chewy in front of us then. This one inbound from Lanzarote. Registration Golf Tango Uniform Mike Lima. 737 MAX. This one 3 years of age. Flight time this evening 3 hours and 45 minutes by the time it touches down. That 777 getting closer to us. Just hear the engines in the background there. Oops, just about getting that one there. There we go then, the 777 making its way towards us, the Chewy, landing very softly there onto 09 this evening. Where I'm standing so I don't trip over my own feet. There you go. Blinded by the glare of the screens in front of us. There we go. Should be a little bit better. Turning very golden in front of us now. So they should hopefully get a really good sunset from where we are this evening. Well, we are, it definitely feels a lot warmer than, where are we, about 11.5 degrees we're showing, just at the bottom of the screen there. It's nice to be out in the sun for a change. I think with a lack of cloud above us, that temperature is going to fall away very quickly this evening. But thanks very much to everybody who's joining us from East Midlands. Very warm welcome to you if you're new to the channel. Of course, very warm returning welcome to all of our members and subscribers as well. Good to have you all with us this evening. Thank you to everybody in the chat as well for joining in. The Aeropark 777 there making its way in from Delhi a little early this afternoon. One already offloaded. And an inbound Chewy service there making its way onto the Apron this evening. We'll see if we can get a close-up view of that one, depending on where it ends up on stand this evening. Looks like it's turning towards us. But currently, the most forward stands are occupied by the Jet2 service in from Fuerteventura that landed just a short while ago. So we'll keep our eyes on the 777 for the time being. Looks like the Chewy may be taking one of the forward stands in front of the terminal there. that's pulling straight onto stand there in front of the terminal. Which leaves us with a 777 for the time being. So look then, if we can get a close-up view of this one this evening. And while we're having a look at that, let's have a look at the next inbound. Inbound 777 from Leipzig. That one currently at 5,800 feet, just north of Leicester. Registration Golf Delta Hotel Lima Whiskey. This one 14 years of age, making it in from Leipzig this evening in the 1 against cancel livery. An hour and 25 minutes flight over from Leipzig. We'll see if this one makes its way towards us. Let's quickly pan away from the 777 into the distance if we can. Just be able to make out that 777 there in front of us. There we go, that is the service making its way towards us from Leipzig this evening. That one should be on the approach in just a few minutes. And we'll watch that one down and onto stand as well this evening. Don't know if you can just about make out the livery on that one. So it is heading directly towards the sun, so it may be affected somewhat by that. There we go then, we'll catch up with that one in a minute. That one just making a slight turn to the left there. Catch back up with that before I get blinded by the sun. Pick up with that one as it makes its way down on the approach this evening. The 777 in front of us though, making its way in from Cincinnati. You see a crew just at the forward door there of the aircraft. Katie, good evening to you. And Staffy, you're good evening to you as well. Rob, I think at one point they did. 777 frequented that route from here to Bahrain and back again. But I haven't seen that service for a little while, not that I can remember anyway. But yeah, they definitely have flow from East Midlands direct to Bahrain. DHL aircraft, that is. But I don't think we see that service so often anymore. Maybe wrong, but I think they usually serve between here and Bahrain for the logistics, or for logistic purposes, for the Formula One. So the start of the when the season was just starting, a lot of 747s in the East Midlands, carrying a lot of Formula One gear out to various different places in from the US, Canada, and then back out again to respective racing locations. So we do see some services out that way. I think they're mainly specialist services rather than a regular served route. Oops, wrong way, sorry. There you go, hopefully we can watch that landing gear calm down again. And that one gradually making its way towards us this evening. I think DHL is actually one of the logistic partners for Formula One, so a lot of that traffic does indeed pass through here. Because at the start of the season they had a good amount of different 747s in the East Midlands. It's definitely a very busy place in terms of freight. Triple seven then just passing through 1,000 feet now. There we go, that one safely landing into East Midlands this evening. Catch back up with that one in just a few minutes. That one's still making its way down the runway there. In the meantime, let's have a quick look at what's being offloaded this evening. This one arriving in from Cincinnati, back out to Leipzig. about 10:15 this evening. 9:45. So just a short stay on the ground for this one. So the next departure then is the Cincinnati service operated by that 767. That one just a little left of us at the minute. Have a look as the 777 makes its way closer to us. .767 in from Philadelphia though isn't too far away from us. That one due in about 15 minutes time, and then a couple of services a little further south. The Ryanair in from Alicante, that one over the Bay of Biscay at the minute, due in about an hour's time, and the Jet 2 service in from Palma, that one over France, due in about 50 minutes. 767 in from Philadelphia will be the next inbound though. That one is currently west of Stoke-on-Trent, passing through 15,600 feet, and there is a Pilatus on the way to us as well, operated by Silver Aviation. That one making its way in from Belfast this evening. Slight delay on that one, should be with us about 8:10. That one currently heading overhead Ellesmere Port. Should be about 25 minutes before we see that one on final approach into East Midlands this evening. There you go, the 777 making its way towards us and from the left. Let's get a close-up view of this one then. Now it's on the ground with us. This is the aircraft that we watched on the approach just south of the airfield a few minutes ago. Now with us in full view as soon as I can get in position. There we go. You can just see in the background there the apparatus or equipment left behind after the Antonov was loaded up yesterday. It being cleared away off the apron as we were starting the stream about 5:30 this evening. It's quite a big operation to get that moved out, or moved around should I say. Get it loaded up with whatever it was carrying yesterday. Something very large indeed. So there are a few photos. I'm sure people have managed to see about that. Some great captures of it close up being loaded up yesterday. But I believe that one made its way out to Kuwait yesterday evening, making its way in from Montreal. The fire service just in front of us there. A couple of engines out with us this evening to see if we can get a close-up view of them. Not usual for us to see the crews out down here. Looks like there might be a bit of a grass fire over there, or something has sparked their interest. .767 making its way down towards us and passing through 6,000 feet at the minute. One should be with us in about 5 minutes. Right, well they're having a quick look at that. I think we'll just grab a quick drink before the 767 gets a little bit closer to us. Just bear with me for a couple of minutes. So it looks like from this angle anyway, maybe just bit of a small fire in the grass there. So you can't see anything from where we are. I don't know what we can see on camera there. Causing a bit of a concern though. The 767 inbound now then. Passing through 1600 feet, so just a couple of minutes out. Leave them at the bottom of the screen just for the time being while we watch the 767 down onto runway 09 this evening. That one safely touching down in this evening. So the crews in front of us are moving off now. So they're actually discharging onto the grass there. Either that or there's some form of spillage there. There you go. It's not every day you actually see people on the runway at East Midlands. A very tough job of giving that a good scrub now. Yeah, looks like a may just be a spillage there. I think they were out yesterday as well. The other end of the airfield on runway 27. The pilatus in from Belfast now then. I'm currently passing through 1700 feet on final approach. Just about make out the landing lights on that one. So yeah, the size of that aircraft is quite a distance away for the time being. So as it gets a little bit closer, we'll watch that one land in. Of course, these guys are still very busy attending to whatever it just is over there at the minute. So it looks like it was on the grass after all then. Looks like a bit of a hazard on the taxiway there. The pilatus making its way in now then, on just passing through 950 feet. Let's leave these guys to it for the time being. There you go, that one making its way down very quickly towards us now. This one belonging to Silver Aviation. A very smooth touchdown there on a pilatus into East Midlands this evening. Another fire truck on its way out. Like the sweeper behind it as well. I'll try and catch up with the Pilatus. So that one is just vacating runway 09 there. Hopefully making its way back towards us. There we go, just in the distance. Let's leave the cruise there just for a minute then. Catch the Pilatus. There we go. Get it in focus. Anyway, first time I think we managed to catch this aircraft type into East Midlands. Especially against a backdrop like that anyway. There you go, that one disappearing off now. So just a little while longer then to wait for the last services inbound on this evening's stream. The West Atlantic 737 should be with us in about 40 minutes. That's left Aberdeen. Making its way down now, passing through 20,000 feet. The DHL 757 to the west of Scotland now. That one making its way down towards Loch Lomond, heading for Glasgow. That one should be with us in roughly around the same time, in the next 40 minutes or so. The Maersk 767 then, leaving Belfast. That one should be with us in about 30 minutes. And the Jet 2 service from Palma, making its way up from the south, just overhead Chichester at the minute. And that one should closely be followed by the West Atlantic ATR, making its way in from Guernsey. Both of those aircraft should be with us in the next 30 minutes or so. So thank you very much to everybody who's joined us this evening from East Midlands. Weather's been a lot more favourable this evening, although it's just dropped ever so slightly in temperature. The sun just setting. But still, very nice and peaceful evening. No wind this evening. It is forecasted just to be a little windy this evening. It's really saying 6 knots there. But it doesn't feel it where we are. So we're slightly sheltered by the trees up here on the mound of the Aeropark. So slightly protected from any of that wind. But no, it definitely helps not having any wind to contend with. Helps keep the temperature nice and stable. And hopefully should be the same into next week as well. The wind is looking favourable in terms of our ability to catch most of the arrivals onto runway 09. Last time I looked, the wind was coming from the east, I think, moving west. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we should get a few more nice sunset evenings. So hopefully it can bring you something a little bit different while we're waiting for those aircraft to make their way a bit closer to us this evening. So the Jet 2 just about 20 minutes away from us now. So we will have six aircraft inbound to East Midlands before we end the stream this evening. The last ones should probably be the 757 and the 737 making their way down from Reykjavik and Aberdeen this evening. May just catch the Jet 2 arriving in from Krakow. That one is due in about 50 minutes time. So maybe just as we're about to lose most of the light, we'll see that one in as well. Whatever it is over there, it is getting a good scrub. So look then, let's leave those guys to it for the time being. So a quick look down the rest of the apron. That service in from Cincinnati then. Looks like it's the last bit of cargo making their way off that aircraft now. I think this one is due back out in a little while to Leipzig, I believe. Maybe wrong. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, this one due out at about 9:45 this evening off to Leipzig. We should hopefully see though, just behind the fire cruiser, the 767, that one is off to Cincinnati in about 30 minutes. You see just the last bits of cargo going on in the background there. So hopefully that one stays on schedule this evening, makes it out on time. It's got a scheduled departure time, or an estimated departure time of about 10 to 9 this evening. It's got a final time of 20 to 9, it's about 10 minutes difference. We didn't manage to catch this on Tuesday's stream, unfortunately. Left a little later than we were streaming. But fingers crossed, we should see it out this evening. So stick around for the arrival of the Krakow service if we can. Gives them a few more minutes to catch up with that one. And the rest of the airfield quite quiet this evening. To the left of us, can have a quick look on the secondary camera if we pull that one up. There we go, all those services inbound to us this evening. All on stand, all shut up as well. Or closed up, should I say. The Jet 2 service isn't too far away from us now, though. So that should be making its way towards us, populating that stand a little more this evening. That one is currently just west of Watford at the minute. Registration on that one, Golf Delta Foxtrot Charlie. It's 26 years of age, first flight in 1998. Flight time on that one this evening should be around 2 hours and 20 minutes. West Atlantic service in from Guernsey, just a few minutes behind that one. Again, that one quite an old airframe in relative terms anyway. That one having its first flight, or conducting its first flight in 1990, October 1990, making that one 34 years of age. So that one should be with us in about 25 minutes. Let's check on those services from the north then. Just a little way to run for those. About 30 minutes for that 757 and about 20 minutes for the Maersk 767. That one currently over the Irish Sea, routing towards Liverpool. That one should make its way down towards Crewe, Stoke-on-Trent, towards Uttoxeter, and I make pretty much a straight approach in for 09. Yeah, sun just leaving us there over the top of the trees. So hopefully we get a nice sunset behind the last arrivals this evening. And a little further out then, just about to leave the coast of France, the Rhino service in from Alicante. That one about 40 minutes away from us. Looks like the crews there are all finished up with what they're doing for the evening. Sweeper making a bit of a rapid getaway. There we go, the engine's having none of it though. You probably fancy his chances there, but I don't fancy arguing with one of those. There we go then, the fire crew there back off down to base this evening. It's definitely turning a bit chilly. Let's have a look at the 777 in the distance then. Just the last bits coming off now. Yes, I'm not sure what was actually on that taxiway there, but it's a very good and thorough sweep. It sometimes can be just residue of oil, fuel. Or anything that decides to spring a leak from an aircraft. So it can be a mix of things, but it's best to get it cleared away quickly rather than sitting there letting it soak in onto the surface. So once it gets rainy, once it rains rather, it'll just become a big skid pan out there. supposed to get cleared away, avoid any hazards, and make it as safe as possible. It can be a very dangerous environment, airside, in terms of fuel spillages, oil spillages, hydraulic spillages. So with aircraft pretty much relying on all of those systems, or all of those fluids for their systems to work, it inevitably happens. But at least the crews here are able to react really quickly, get it cleaned up to avoid any further possible accidents down the line. Right, well, we're watching that 777 just offloading on the last of that cargo and waiting for those aircraft to make their way a little bit closer to us. So the Jet 2 just 15 minutes away from us now. And so is the Maersk 767. I'm going to get a coat on because it's turned ever so chilly all of a sudden. So I shall be back in just a minute or so. Right, hopefully should stay warm for a little longer, so we should be streaming for the next 40 minutes or so. Hopefully ending on the arrival of that Jet 2 service in from Krakow. So that one still with about 50 minutes to run though this evening. So depending on how cold it does get in the next 40 minutes or so, we'll make a call on that one. It looks like the Ryanair service in from Alicante is just a little closer. We're trying to stick it out as long as we can. So I usually end our streams at 9 PM anyway. This gives us a little bit of time to get packed away. But thank you very much for everybody who's joined us again this evening at East Midlands. Second stream of the week. If you missed the first one this week, definitely go back and have a look where we had the Antonov 124 right in front of us. Unfortunately, didn't manage to catch any ground movements on that one. That one arrived at about 7 AM on Tuesday morning and then departed out yesterday at about 7 PM. But still a good number of aircraft in with us this evening. It looks like the service out to Cincinnati is almost fully loaded this evening. That's the aircraft, sorry, next to it, that one inbound from Leipzig, the Cincinnati service next to it. I was just looking at, almost complete. The aircraft that we watched in approaching from the south, making its way into East Midlands this evening from Leipzig. So that one is in the process of being unloaded. It's quite busy on the ramp over there now. I'm just going to chuck cover over the camera to keep everything nice and warm. A great evening for catching some of the overheads here at East Midlands as well. So if we can, just try and pan round just a little bit, take us away from that cargo traffic just for the time being. There we go. Looks like the EasyJet service up to Glasgow this evening. Just catching the last of that sun in the contrails there. There you go then. It's about the extent of my capabilities to pan that far up, unfortunately. Let's have a look back over on the DHL ramp then. Let's get that cover out of the way first though. Sort that out. There we go. Back in full view. Let's get a close-up of the service out to Cincinnati then this evening. Get that nice and locked off. Let's see if we can sort the last of this cover out then. Apologies for any Velcro noise. Oops. There we go. She'll be back on now. Stops any moisture clinging to the surfaces, should I say. Can start to get attracted to all the metal surfaces quite quickly. So I'd rather not deal with any broken equipment. There you go, everything is covered up as it can be now. Let's have a look on those next arrivals then. That service in from Belfast, just 13 minutes away from us then, passing south of Leek now. Let's have a look on the radar. Whereabouts are we? There we go, that's a little better. That Jet 2 service inbound from Palma then. Coming up towards Ashby de la Zouche. See if we can look out. See that one anywhere in the distance. Not as of yet. It's got a little bit hazy in the distance, so it might be a little more difficult to pick some of those aircraft up. We'll try our best. Unfortunately not on that one just yet. See if we can pick it up as he gets a little bit closer to us this evening. The West Atlantic in from Guernsey then, about 10 minutes away from us now. That one currently at 10,000 feet. And the Maersk passing through 8,700 feet now. 757 in from Reykjavik, making its way just north of Preston. Looks like that one is going to route towards Blackburn, down towards Bolton, overhead Manchester, Peak District and then into East Midlands. And a West Atlantic service taking a very similar route, a bit more direct. That one is currently north of Bradford at the minute. Just going to skirt around the Peak District there, heading towards Bakewell, Matlock, and then into East Midlands. So it looks like we're going to see the Jet 2 in first. So I don't have a visual with that one just yet. That cloud has got a little bit lower than it was earlier. It's just obscuring the view ever so slightly. Let's have a look out on the horizon then. Give you a view of what it's like here this evening. At the minute, so that sun is just disappearing in the background. I think we may just have a visual that Jet 2 just coming into shot there. See if we can pan in as this one makes its turn towards us this evening then. Should be able to watch the landing gear come down on this one as well. There you go, that just dropping below the lights. The lights just obscuring a little bit. Registration on this one though, Golf Golf Delta Foxtrot Charlie. Flight time this evening 2 hours and 16 minutes. Airframe first entering into service in 1998. And making this one 26 years old. And the Maersk 767 should very shortly be joining it on final approach. We'll see if we can get both of those on final. So we don't have visual with that 767 just yet. It's ever so slightly obscured by the cloud. There we go, just making an appearance now in the background. There we go, bit of a mini stack in East Midlands this evening. That West Atlantic ATR should be joining in just a few minutes. That one north of Leicester now. But for the time being, we'll stick on the Jet 2 service. Bit of noise from that gear on switch down there. We're safely down into East Midlands this evening. Let's catch up with the 767 on final approach then now. Copper Pandit, more than likely Jet 2 are the biggest operator out of East Midlands. They definitely got the biggest presence on the ground anyway in terms of ancillary equipment. Number of buses they've got for transporting passengers to or from aircraft. A lot of Jet 2 liveried vehicles out there. Obviously a very big presence in the terminal as well. So probably more Jet 2 aircraft than any other airline at the minute at East Midlands. Ryanair for one point were one of the biggest carriers. But I think as the tour operators have evolved their services, Ryanair have tended to stick to more niche routes in some respects. They will still operate on many of the other popular routes as well as Jet 2 and Chewy. So still quite a competitive environment for all of the airlines here. Smallest one though, just to go off a tangent, it's probably Aer Lingus or Blue Islands that operate from Aer Lingus in from Belfast and Blue Islands in from Guernsey and Jersey. So EasyJet did have a presence here at one point when Flybe went into administration. I think the first time round they took up the route to Belfast. But that was then taken over by Aer Lingus. But for many, many years before any of the operators here, by far the biggest carrier, or low-cost carrier, was BMI Baby from East Midlands, with their base here at Castle Donington. That, again, eventually fizzled out. I think the BMI group was purchased by British Airways. A lot of their slots were at Heathrow, under the BMI brand anyway. The Maersk service in from Belfast then this evening. Oh, yeah, as I was just saying, the BMI brand as it became purchased by, I think, not British Airways, International Airlines Group, I think it's now known as, or part of that umbrella anyway, with Iberia and so on and so forth, part of that group. A lot of those slots went back to being under British Airways, I think, at Heathrow. BMI having a small base out of there, but serving some primary routes. So I think the majority of those slots went back to serving with British Airways. But there's a lot of memorabilia at the Aeropark here around BMI Baby. A lot of merchandise. We've got a lot of the old signage in here as well. So if anybody's around wants to see any of that, definitely worth a look at. CB, just doing your pre-flight checks there. Where are you flying from? Let us know where you're flying from. the West Atlantic ATR, our final into East Midlands then. I think I'm just going to move a couple of bits around, get them out of the way of the camera. And me. There we go. Hopefully keep a bit of that heat around me if I move the umbrella a bit closer. It's dropped off quite considerably. So look, on that final approach then. West Atlantic ATR then, registration on this one, Golf November, Papa Tango Foxtrot. Flight time on this one, by the time it touches down anyway, 1 hour and 1 minute. This one, 34 years of age, first entering into service in October 1990. And just behind that there should be, fingers crossed, another little stack with the West Atlantic 737 making its way in from Aberdeen, and of course the 757 in from Reykjavik. Let's watch the ATR down now though. That one a little higher than I anticipated there. But next on approach should be that West Atlantic 737 making its way towards us. Hopefully, CB, if you're still in there, you've completed most of those checks, but if not, if you don't get a chance, have a very safe flight. Yeah, it definitely is, Mark. So we're long overdue some action on 09. So we've not been able to catch any of the rivals this direction for a couple of weeks now. At least it's a bit warmer as well. That makes a massive difference. Thanks for being with us anyway, Mark. It's good to have you in the chat. I should just be able to see that 757 in the background then. West Atlantic 737 in from Aberdeen, safely down on 209 this evening. Right, let's have a bit of an extended lookout. We approach that 757 then, in from Reykjavik. CB, good luck with that pre-flight check and taxi as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Let us know where you're taking off from though this evening. So with the 757 inbound then, the Jet 2 service in from Krakow is about 25 minutes away. And there is a FedEx 737-800 making its way in from Belfast as well. So I think if we are going to catch the Krakow service just, we'll catch the FedEx service as well. So we'll run for about 20 more minutes. We'll catch both of those services in this evening. Something a little different, not much to catch the FedEx 737 in just yet. And with the light still with us this evening, fingers crossed it should be like that in the next 20 minutes. It should make quite a nice approach. The 757 in from Reykjavik now though. There we go, a very soft touchdown from that one. The West Atlantic 737 just in front of us. So I'll try and get that frame rate stabilised now. The light is being a bit more kinder to us. There we go, hopefully that's a little brighter. Ryanair service in from Alicante next then. Somewhere in front of us. Can't quite make that out just yet. Just a little too far out to see that by eye, unfortunately. And that FedEx 737 about 20 minutes away from us now then. That one looks like it's en route over the Mersey there, just south of Liverpool, and it'll make its way straight into East Midlands from there. I think by the time those aircraft reaches the majority of that daylight will have vanished, unfortunately. CB, have a very safe flight. So if we do manage to catch you on any radars in the direction of Norwich, I'll give you a little bit of a shout out later on. Thanks for joining us and a very safe flight this evening. .757 getting a little closer to us then. That one just emerging from the from behind the trees there. Get a close-up view of that one as it gets a little bit closer to us. It's quite dark to the left of us right now, so only the glare of the lights that I can actually see. It shouldn't be too long before we see that one there. Just a minute or so as it continues its taxi towards the DHL route this evening. Rhino Air service in from Alicante, and I'm passing through 3,000 feet now. That one just about to make a right hand turn onto final approach. Let's just pan out from the West Atlantic then, catch the 757 as it makes its way towards the Apron this evening. And the Rhino service on final approach now. We'll stick with the 757 just for the time being. The 737 is a little way off just yet. That one moving quite far up the stand this evening. That one coming to a stop on its stand end this evening. Let's pan around and catch the arrival of that Ryanair service in from Alicante then this evening. So that evening, quite a lot then. Flight time though is 2 hours and 26 minutes. Registration on this one, Echo India Hotel Golf X-Ray. This one delivered in January 2022, making it just a few months over 3 years old. Very swiftly and safely down this evening. So look at the 757 then just pulling on to stand as we wait for those last aircraft to get a little bit closer to us this evening. Not long to wait at all. Let's just have a look what is inbound. The Ryanair service obviously inbound there from Alicante, just landing in. The Jet 2 service from Krakow, about 8 minutes away now. That one is just north of Leicester. Maersk service making its way down from Edinburgh. That's another 767. And then the last aircraft then we'll end on this evening, the FedEx 737-800. There's an aircraft just a little further back. It's a good 20 minutes or so from us. Yet, so I think we'll probably will end with the arrival of that FedEx 737. That one making its way in from Belfast this evening. Let's just have a quick look on the departures. The Cincinnati service was due out, so look at that. And that one again delayed this evening with a departure time now of 9:10. We'll see if we catch that one. So the FedEx, it's got about 10-15 minutes left to run this evening. So we may just see that Cincinnati service depart. CB, safe flights. The Maersk 767 in from Edinburgh this evening and on final approach now. the forward cargo door of the 757 open. We'll try and take a look at that in a few minutes if we can. And we've got 767 out there in the distance, making its way towards us now. It's still reasonably light at this time. It's a little bit longer, or a few minutes longer, than we tend to usually stream. But while the light is this good, and while those last few aircraft are making their way towards us, we'll take the opportunity while we can. And if you're not subscribed already, remember to do so and turn on those notification bells to keep up with all our latest action here at East Midlands Airport and from within the Aeropark as well. Remember, if you want to find out any more information about the Aeropark, have a look at the link in our stream description below. That'll take you to the website. A lot of people in the chat as well will highly recommend that as a great day out. So it's been a good to see so many people here over the past couple of weeks as well, dropping by and having a chat with us. So if you do see us around, definitely come over and say hello. The next inbound then, the Maersk service in from Edinburgh. Sophie, thank you very much. Oops, just a little bit out of my reach there, fortunately. Caught on the cover. The Star Air in from Edinburgh there. Next service in, the Jet 2. This one, oops. Jet 2 service in from Krakow, though, making its way down towards us now. Looks like the service to Leipzig is just pushing. And that FedEx service making its way down from Belfast now. That one about 3 minutes away from us. John, good to see you. Thank you very much for dropping in. Very strange. Lights on the FedEx there. Has it made its turn onto final approach? Seen that before. Maybe just a glare in the lens. Jet 2 service in from Krakow then next. Just in time to catch the last of that daylight that's with us. Jet 2 safely down onto 09. And the last aircraft inbound this evening then, at FedEx 737. Whoops, there we go. Bit too far. Service to Leipzig starting at first, actually, not the Cincinnati service. Cincinnati still on stand over there. Catch up with that one in just a minute. We'll make that one our last aircraft on this evening's stream. That one should hopefully make its way to the start of 09 quite quickly. I hope so anyway, because it's dropped really cold now. Next aircraft in, that FedEx 737 making its way over from Belfast this evening. FedEx 737 there, and then the 767 in front of us. Let's see if we can adjust that light ever so slightly. There we go. The last aircraft on the stream this evening then, 767 off to Leipzig. There we go, good bit of engine noise to end the stream on there. I think we'll leave with a parting shot on the Cincinnati service, just being pushed off stand there in the distance. So thank you everybody who's watched this evening, to all of our returning subscribers and of course our valued members as well. Thank you very much for being part of the stream. Everybody in the chat as well, if you've not already subscribed, do definitely consider subscribing to keep up with all of our action here at East Midlands Airport and the Aeropark. If you want any more details about the Aeropark itself, have a look in the stream description below. There's a link to their website in there. They're open this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 11 till 5. And also Thursdays now as part of their summer opening schedule. So from me, that's it for this evening. I'm off to get in the warm, so thank you again everybody for your continued support and helping and build this channel. It really does mean a lot. I've been Tom, this has been Live Flight Action, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll leave the chat open for about 5 minutes so everybody's got time to say goodbye to each other. But apart from that, thank you very much again. We'll see you on the next one.